Martinez and many members of the Boston Red Sox making their way over from Fenway Park after a tough loss to the Yankees today on here at the Fleet Center to cheer on their Boston Celtics. Here in Game 3 of this Eastern Conference Finals, starting lineups: Kenyon Martin, Keith Van Horn, Todd McCullough, Jason Kidd, and Kerry Kittles for head coach Byron Scott, Antoine Walker, Eric Williams, Tony Battie, Kenny Anderson, and Paul Pierce. The officiating crew of Joe Crawford, Billy Spooner, and Bob Delaney making sure the court was dry. Don't want to take a chance of any players slipping and getting hurt. And Tony Battie on the second tip. Celtics control.
Free throwing has been a problem for the Boston Celtics, led by arguably their best free thrower, Paul Pierce.
Kenyon Martin, quick shot, and he gets the roll. Kittles fires away. Kerry Kittles rattles in his first, and that could be huge. Kittles
Can't do that.
Walker double team, able to get inside. He rushed it. Todd McCullough the rebound.
It's 4 shots in the paint already for the New Jersey Nets.
And another perimeter jumper. Both teams, well, especially New Jersey, have implemented his own at times. Celtics don't really like to go to that often as Kidd knocks it down. Jason Kidd.
Start finishing inside.
Williams has the height advantage on Jefferson. Spinning inside, Eric Williams. The first field goal.
New Jersey to make them take the ball out of bounds and slow down their transition game.
Jefferson left open, and he knocks it down. 5 for 5 from the field for the Nets.
This series of the free throw line coming in, and they're not off to a good start again.
They've missed 7 of their first 8 from the field. And missed a couple of free throws as well. Jefferson has that high arcing shot. Perhaps settling for too many outside shots?
Well, I don't think so. I think they've done a good job getting in. They're just not putting the ball in the basket, and the Nets are poised right now.
Ball to McCarty for 3. That one in and out, and Kidd off to the races. On the pull-up, Jason Kidd knocks it down. Team from the field with 5 turnovers. But their defense perhaps trying to get them back in the game. Pierce, coast to coast, can't finish, but tipped in beautifully by Walker.
2 good hustles. After a rookie first round, he played very well against Charlotte in the semifinals.
Dealt for 3. Walker the rebound. Quick follow. And that's an underrated part of his game. He is such a...
Antoine Walker fills up the stat sheet. Rebounds, assists, yes, of course, points also.
Aaron Williams steps out. Kidd looking inside. Jefferson. Kenyon Martin wide open. That's a 3, and he puts it in. Kenyon Martin off balance. Not a good shot. And Walker the rebound.
The bench points, Richard Jefferson set that tone early when he got the opportunity.
And that's more of Tony Battie's range, and he likes that. Collins on Walker. That's a matchup that Boston would like to take advantage of. Williams double. Anderson. Dealt. 2-pointer for Tony
Dix in the first quarter also. Very sloppy game for these 2 teams.
Jefferson gets past Eric Williams. And Richard Jefferson now. Johnson for 3. Hits nothing. Dangerous pass. Walker, left-handed. Anthony Johnson. Martin inside. Tough shot from Kenyon Martin. And they just blew the whistle to make sure the basket's full. Kidd is on Walker right now on the switch. Walker again takes it and puts it in. Chance of defense here at the Fleet Center. Van Horn knocks one down.
Rebounding, and Jim O'Brien calls him the middle linebacker of his defense. He's always talking to his teammates.
Harris for 3. Lucius Harris knocks it down. You've got to get him the ball.
He's always been a big spurt player, and Jason Kidd realizes that. Look for him to find him.
Here's bad pass. Harris ahead to Kidd. Boy, he runs the floor. Struggling.
Nobody realizes that more than Paul Pierce.
He refuses to give credit. He keeps saying, I'm stopping myself. But the Nets defense is not getting the proper credit all season long. Harris, nice move with the left hand. But New Jersey's defense timeout pointed out that he told his Celtic team, let's get it down to 7 by halftime. Right now it's 11 with just over a minute and a half remaining. Harris, that's a two-pointer. Harris perhaps bouncing back with a terrific first 2 quarters after a disappointing home loss in game 2. Nice feed inside to Kittles.
They're all willing to distribute the ball, and Todd McCullough, a big center with good hands, as Kerry Kittles steps in and goes coast to coast.
And just like that, it's the largest lead of the game. All right, we'll hold it for the final shot.
Very seldom do you make a shot after you hesitate.
Good ball movement again. Harris hits the 3. A 20-point lead for New Jersey with 7/10 of a second remaining. A stunning first half.
Energy level of the Boston Celtics in these first couple minutes.
Kittles mishandles it. Shot clock, still plenty of time. 6 left. Kittles makes the move. High arcing shot. And the lead up to 22. Jersey came out, went up 20-6 before the blink of an eye. Completely took the crowd out. Boston pulled within 6 at one point, but the Nets kept coming. Ball tipped in nicely by Walker.
Well, the one thing that Byron Scott's really got to be concerned about is turnovers, because other than turning the ball over, it's going to be difficult for Boston to come from this far back.
Kenyon Martin. Van Horn. Martin also playing with 3 fouls, as is Van Horn and Jefferson. Martin left-handed. Just kind of flipped it up there, hoping for a foul call. Here comes Walker, hopping in, left-handed. Can't finish.
And the story of the game for the Boston Celtics, missed opportunities inside.
And Kidd knocks down the 2-pointer. Kenny Anderson gets inside. Ball tipped. Battie right there on the follow. Battie can't hit it. Van Horn the rebound. Kittle's running the floor. Gets past, and he draws the foul. And let's send it over to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Mike, from the first philosophy after the first half is that's what the score is. So no matter how good or bad it was in the first half, it's 0-0. They have to do it all over again. Mike?
Thank you, Lewis. It's not a bad approach to take. It's hard to execute it once you're up by those kind of numbers.
It's 5-2 right now. Still good news for the Nets.
Kittles on the pull-up. Kerry Kittles finding the stroke. It is hard to believe. A 25-point lead. Pierce throws up one that's not even close. Eric Williams with the steal. Walker nails a 3.
Energy, Antoine Walker, the lone bright light for Boston on the offensive end.
Nice feed inside. Walker went for the steal. Now he's yelling at Tony. 25% from the field, what the Celtics are shooting.
Nets are closing in on 60%.
Van Horn drills that one. Keith Van Horn.
Hey, this started out as a great day in Boston. Red Sox win the first 2 games. The Yankees started the bad news today. The New Jersey Nets are continuing the trend.
In the series so far, they've been big double-digit leads. Pierce, double team, and able to put in. That's what he sees every time he puts the ball.
You know, Jason Kidd's always going to be lurking. Kittles makes Pierce put the ball on the floor. That takes him right into Jason Kidd. He's working to even
get a better shot than that, especially in that particular transition play.
Well, Tony Battie was quoted as saying it's been great having the crowd as revved up as they are.
McCullough blocked. Second effort puts it in.
But to
6:11 left. You can't wait for the time to tick down. There's so much time remaining, over 18 minutes left in this game. Anderson inside. Again, you get so caught up in the guy's shooting percentage. Nice feed inside from McCullough. What a perfect pass from Jason Kidd. It's going to say PJ, it's a 2 for Van Horn. Eric Williams, good boxing out, grabs the board. The Boston Celtics down by 25 in desperate need of a good run. Rogers somehow finds
To walk it up, they want to execute a little bit in the half court right now.
New Jersey has not lost 2 straight games in the playoffs as Kittles puts that one down. Every time they've lost winning streaks. Of course, Boston once lost 2 in a row in the Philadelphia series, losing games 3 and 4. Anderson finding the stroke, rattles it in.
Very similar to game 1, except that early in the third quarter in game 1, Boston made a little bit of a move.
McCarty, Jefferson, excellent defense staying in front. Then a pretty fast block from behind by Kerry Kittles.
More aggressive team has won every game. Even in game 2 when both teams struggled to score, clearly the Celtics were the more aggressive team. In game 1 and so far this afternoon, only one aggressive team.
Kidd called for travel, then has some words with Paul Pierce afterwards. Crowd getting on Jason Kidd. Kidd is not a talker on the floor. We're going to have double technicals. The traveling violation on Jason Kidd.
Well, you see the split right there. Paul Pierce tries to draw an offensive foul, but he's got both arms up. He's got his elbows and his forearms up, and Jason Kidd's just telling him.
The rebound.
Jason Kidd did well to catch that pass, Mike.
Anderson goes inside, and an offensive foul call on Kenny Anderson. Jason Kidd draws
Kidd's hand and then run a little play for Kerry Kittles under.
Kidd loses it. Nice save that time by Tony Petit. Final seconds of the third quarter. Tony Delk, excellent feed, and Rogers able to put it in. His teammate Antoine Walker in the huddle the last time. Walker let the team have it and also let Pierce have it. Told him to stop whining, stop worrying about officials and no calls. And he said to the team, hey, the Nets are laughing at us right now.
I think that was the gist of the message. They're disrespecting us right now. We can't back down. We got to play. It doesn't matter whether we win this game or not. We got to go back at the Nets right now.
Jefferson, the latest to guard Pierce. Nice quick move. Of course, Pierce is a big-time fourth-quarter player, but if the Celtics put themselves in too big a hole to make it matter. Tony Petit was limping as he ran up the floor, and they forced a turnover.
Not too big a hole if the Nets turn the ball over.
Walker against Van Horn, goes right at him left-handed. And just like that, it's cut to 17. This is the closest they've been in the second half.
Not just this afternoon. Is the game over? No way. But it's more important for the Celtics in this series to step up and respond right now.
Pierce draws the foul and one. Somehow held on.
Gonna foul him hard. Let him shoot a layup. Don't give him 3 points.
Lucius Harris tries to draw the foul. Oh, they wave it off. The ball above the cylinder. Offensive interference. That's a great play from Jefferson, but it looks like it should have been negated.
It's a big-time play from Richard Jefferson. You'd love to see that.
Pierce gets past Jefferson again and puts it in.
He tried to get into the paint. The Celtics already with 4 field goals inside this quarter.
Pierce doubled. Anderson left wide open. Puts it in. 11 was coming back from such a large deficit. Takes it right out of you. How much it will take out of Boston. But right now the adrenaline is just pumping. Aaron Williams. That's a big shot with the rebound. Kittles lost it down back. Tony Delk takes it. Look at the hustle for the play, and Jason Kidd comes up with it. And then Aaron Williams throws it away.
Turnovers, the biggest enemy in the New Jersey Nets right 19. He's almost 5 minutes more a game than he was in the regular season because he's producing in the playoffs.
At both ends, Pierce inside. Paul Pierce already he's reached double figures in just a fourth quarter alone. Harris, Williams again. Aaron Williams with a terrific shot. Plenty of contact. Both teams up.
This is 4th quarters, Mike. No team has he torched more in the 4th quarter this season than the New Jersey Nets.
And that one game where he had 46 of his 48 in the second half against him. Tony Delk hits the three.
Aaron Williams.
Well, the Nets have struggled from the line all game, but they've hit 4 in a row here. 4 big ones. And they're back up by 12. Pierce inside, puts it in. his fourth. 12, just over 5.5 to play here in his fourth. A huge turnaround, but still an uphill climb for the Celtics. Kenny Anderson inside. And Anderson is in his last 5 shots. Martin, the offensive board. Still plenty of time, just under 4.5 to play. And that's where the Nets want the ball, in the hands of Jason Kidd. Kittles, nice move to get rid of Pierce. And Kerry Kittles. Boston Celtics trying to make one of the great playoff comebacks in NBA history.
Plenty of time.
Good poise here for Boston. Pierce inside. Wild shot. Rebound taken by Aaron Williams. Stolen by Rodgers. Inside and a foul. And Martin tries to hold up Rodgers after a hard foul. I heard Rodgers, meanwhile, 4 for 4 from the line here in this fourth quarter.
You've got to allow a little slack in the playoffs.
6'2" of Tony Dunk, and that's stretching it with a big rebound. Walker against Martin. Lost it, got it back, flipped it up, won't go. Rebound Walker, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Kidd. They'll get a new 20-foot. Both teams in the penalty. Both teams with 2 timeouts plus a 20. Pierce inside, puts it in. Harris inside, offensive foul. Rodney Rodgers steps in and draws the charge.
Rodney Rodgers with great help defense gets himself set outside the restricted area. Clear-cut charge.
Pierce, and he's battling his way to the basket. Jason Kidd. Shooting better from the line.
Defensive end with turnovers.
1-point game. Only lead of this game was 1-0. They hit the opening free throw. Jason Kidd. Kittles for 3. Way off the mark. Here comes Walker. Good defense from Kidd. Pierce. And a foul. And Pierce will go to the line. You see a perfect number there. And Kidd hits the big free throw. Celtics lead. Kittles drives hard and throws it away. Here comes Anderson. Blocked by Kittles for the goaltend. Celtics go up by 3. 29.8 remaining. Chance to still win.
It's a one-possession game. Doesn't have to be 3 necessarily right now.
Kittles. Van Horn blocked by Walker. Rebounded by Pierce. And they foul Pierce with 17.6 remaining.
Keith Van Horn. Antoine Walker reaches in. I don't know what he got a piece of against the ball.
Way short. Pierce hits the second 4-point lead. They've got to score in a hurry. Don't necessarily need a 3. Kidd puts up the 3. Won't go. Kittles back to Kidd. A wide open 3. Off the mark. Knocked out of bounds. Still New Jersey ball with 5.4 remaining.
But foul.
Kidd for 3. Blocked by Rodgers. Knocked loose. Harris has it. Kidd for 3. And the Boston Celtics with the greatest fourth quarter comeback in NBA playoff history.
Though, Mike, so similar. Both of them coming from disappointment last year, turning it around on the defensive end. Yes, some trades, some new players, but the trademark of both of these teams now, they went from bottom 10 in the league, both of these teams defensively, to now top 10, and that's why they're still playing in the conference finals.
The officiating crew of Joe Crawford, Billy Spooner, and Bob Delaney making sure the court was dry. Don't want to take a chance of any player slipping and getting hurt. And Tony Petit on the second tip. Celtics control. Kenny Anderson had a nice bounce back game. in the second game after Jason Kidd completely outplayed him in game one. They go right to Antoine Walker. Eric Williams the rebound, and he's fouled on the follow. So Williams will shoot two, and the foul goes against Keith Van Horn.
Antoine Walker with the real good look inside, but unable to finish. But I think Jimmy O'Brien would be happier. Eric Williams has not shot a free throw yet. That's hard to believe because he works the offensive board. You saw it right there. Surprisingly, he's shooting the ball very well from the three-point line in the playoffs.
He has been the unsung hero of the Boston Celtics throughout the season and in the playoffs, shooting the ball so well, giving them extra points, but his key is his defense, and he goes 1 of 2 from the line.
Free throwing has been a problem for the Boston Celtics, led by arguably their best free thrower, Paul Pierce.
Kenyon Martin, quick shot, he gets the roll. And that's something that Byron Scott wants, patience offensively. The Nets really struggle on the offensive end in game 2 as the Celtics completely turned around what was a bad defensive performance in the opener. And another foul call against New Jersey. Keith Van Horn has picked up his second one in 39 seconds. So Van Horn will go to the bench, and Richard Jefferson will come in.
Well, that's one of the guys, Keith Van Horn, that we said it was important for him to bounce back and have a game like he did in game 1. He's not even on the floor a minute.
Ball kicked. Shot clock at 13, so they'll reset it to 14. So the way the matchups are now is Jefferson again, going Eric Williams, Kenyon Martin on Walker, and Pierce being guarded by Kerry Kittles.
They'll go right in at Kerry Kittles. Paul Pierce will take him to the basket.
Pierce, quick move, kicks it out. Williams wide open for 3. He's been hitting from that range in the playoffs, but not that time.
Paul's got to shoot that.
Kittles fires away. Kerry Kittles rattles in his first, and that could be huge. Kittles had an off game in game 2. Jason Kidd told us yesterday, he tells Kerry Kittles before every game, be aggressive. He wasn't aggressive that time on defense, but Pierce able to miss it because some good help.
Good call.
Double dribble.
Yes, he did. Jason Kidd thought he was going to throw a pass, kind of grabbed it in his hand, and then put the dribble down again. Joe Crawford right on top of the call. See Jason looking up as he always does. He picks it up. He was going to make a pass. Put both hands on the ball. You can't do that.
Walker double team, able to get inside. He rushed it. Time to color the rebound.
That's 4 shots in the paint already for the New Jersey Nets.
And another perimeter jumper. And New Jersey, after shooting so poorly, 33% in game 2, will come out with their first 3 shots from the field in game 3.
Celtics going in.
Anderson off the market, another whistle. And this will go against Tony Battie.
Neither coach is going to be happy with a lot of whistles. Both of these teams like to bang. I think both coaches would prefer the officials just let him go. Officials trying to set the tone early.
Even with Van Horn on the bench, of course, Byron Scott has not been hesitant. Goes with a 10-man rotation, even in the postseason. Has not shortened his bench. And Jefferson has got a lot of big minutes, but Jason Kidd with another turnover. So 2 turnovers early, a rare occurrence for Kidd.
Both teams having a little trouble getting going. Boston wants to go inside. They've been living in the paint, but they haven't been able to convert in close.
Walker gets inside. And a travel. Walker he is excellent at holding onto his pivot foot. He really has excellent footwork, but not that time.
Well, there's the spin right there and the extra step. Bill Spooner with the call.
Both teams, well, especially New Jersey, have implemented his own at times. Celtics don't really like to go to that often as Kidd knocks it down. Jason Kidd. And how about a 4-for-4 start for New Jersey?
New Jersey with the exact start they wanted. They wanted to take the crowd out of the game. 4-for-4 will do it. An 8-1 lead for the Nets.
Pierce. Anderson inside, blocked from behind by McCullough. Plenty of contact. Here comes Kittles, and he threw it behind Jefferson. Well, New Jersey should be up by double figures, but 3 turnovers have hurt them.
No, they should, but Jim O'Brien's going to tell his team every shot has come from in close in the paint. We got to start finishing inside.
Williams has the height advantage on Jefferson. Spinning inside, Eric Williams. The first field goal for the Boston Celtics took them nearly 3.5 minutes.
It's so important to score against New Jersey to make them take the ball out of bounds and slow down their transition game.
Jefferson left open, and he knocks it down. 5 for 5 from the field for the Nets. This was not expected.
Perfect way to start when you're the road team. Sacramento Kings did it last night.
Williams misses a 3, and McCullough the rebound. Kidd looking to push the ball up the floor. And a foul call on Kenny Anderson. Jim O'Brien told us #1 key with Kidd, keeping him out of the paint.
Jason's penetration just sets up things. Obviously, he can go to the rim and finish himself or get to the free throw line, but more importantly, that draws the defensive help and gets his teammates involved.
Good help defense from Petit, but his momentum knocks Kidd down. And the foul will go against, I believe, against Eric Williams. So Williams picks up his first. So far, again, you look at New Jersey, 5 of 5 from the field. Is it more of they're just hitting some tough shots, or is the Celtic defense a little lax?
I don't think the defense is lax. I think New Jersey's made shots. Boston can do a better job defensively. It's the offensive end that's got them in trouble.
Pierce got a piece of that last Kittle shot. Walker drives hard to the goal and draws the foul. Kenyon Martin will pick up the personal.
Well, there's no question that Jim O'Brien said, let's get the ball inside. They've been to Antoine Walker a couple times, Paul Pierce. Eric Williams came up with an offensive rebound, but getting it inside is one thing, finishing something else.
Walker way short on the first. Log on to NBCSports.com for in-depth playoff coverage. Steve Jones and former NBA coach Matt Guokas providing analysis on the conference finals and focus in on the key matchup. Plus, you can email Bill Walton your playoff questions and check out his latest mailbag on the hottest topics of the postseason, all at NBCSports.com.
Like 65% for the Celtics in this series from the free throw line coming in, and they're not off to a good start again.
They've missed 7 of their first 8 from the field. And missed a couple of free throws as well. Jefferson has that high arcing shot. And this rookie has played so well all season long for Byron Scott. So it's not a big disaster when Van Horn goes to the bench with early foul problems.
No, they get the points from the bench. Their bench is delivered. It's the starters, Van Horn, Kittles, and McCullough that have to contribute.
McCullough with another rebound. Good transition defense from the Celtics. That is a must when you play the Nets. Jefferson off the mark that time. And Tony Petit hauls it in. Walker with that quick release comes up short. 1 of 10 from the field. Perhaps settling for too many outside shots?
Well, I don't think so. I think they've done a good job getting in. They're just not putting the ball in the basket, and the Nets are making everything they look at. Jim O'Brien wants to talk about this start.
Lewis Johnson back in Boston, and right off the bat, the Celtics are in trouble. I was just standing behind the Boston Celtic bench, and Jim O'Brien was brutally honest with his guys when they came over. He said, look, we stink. The bottom line here in this early going is not allowing players to take open jump shots without being challenged. He said this is a transition game. We've got to get some stops, but stop allowing shooters to shoot without being challenged. Mike?
All right, Lewis. And PJ, what you always see is the team that loses the previous game in a playoff series always comes out hungrier at the start. So you have to kind of weather the storm. Jefferson called for a foul. Williams does a good job getting the shot off, and he'll go to the free throw line as Jefferson picks up his first.
Well, once again, they're getting it inside. They're not defending, but they're getting good looks. You look at the shot chart, most of their shots in close to the basket. They would like that ratio. Some nights the Celtics just live out on the perimeter. 9 shots missed. You see all those missed in the paint. The good news is Eric Williams gets to the free throw line. Lewis hit it right on the head. Obi's upset with their defense.
Eric Williams from New Jersey in Newark, went to Shabazz High School in New Jersey. Huge Yankee fan. In fact, he was a terrific baseball player in high school. Very good hitting shortstop. So he's also very much interested in the Yankees-Red Sox series this weekend. But even though he plays for the Celtics, he's rooting for the Yankees.
Endangered species in this town.
Jefferson, not hesitant, way off the mark. And Tony Battie, who the last 3 games is averaging nearly 11 boards a game, comes down with that one.
Well, you saw better pressure. Jim O'Brien called for more pressure on the shots. You saw it there.
That's a little out of Battie's range. And here come the Nets. Kittle's running the floor.
3 seconds.
And the Celtics get back. Kidd getting booed every time he touches the ball. Entry pass a little too hard, broken up by the defensive whiz, Eric Williams.
You can have some tired lungs if they boo every time Jason Kidd touches the ball. He has it all the time.
Anderson left wide open. Because Kidd is such a good help defender, the opposing point guard has to be able to hit that shot.
Kenny Anderson will not hesitate, but he has to shoot the ball well. He did more of that in game 2. Jason Kidd defies you to score when he's guarding you.
Jefferson backdoor, beautiful play as Kidd led him perfectly. And Jefferson has been very active off the bench.
That's a bad memory from game 1, a backdoor cut, no help for the Boston Celtics. They took away the backdoor in game 2.
Celtics have had trouble shooting the basketball this entire series. Pierce way short. 3-on-1 for New Jersey. Excellent ball movement, and that results in an easy 2.
Well, I thought it would be just the opposite this afternoon. Boston coming home. They got it out a win in game 2. You knew the crowd would be psyched, but it hasn't happened yet because of sloppy play like that.
That's their second turnover. Coming in the first 2 games, Celtics shooting just 37% from the field. But a 1 of 13 as Aaron Williams comes in, and McCullough will get a rest.
Well, the real danger with the 1 of 13, Mike, is that just generates fast break opportunities for the New Jersey Nets. If you don't shoot the ball well or you turn it over, they're going to be running down your throat the whole afternoon.
See, Walter McCarty has come in. Bad pass. That's Kidd's 3rd turnover of the opening quarter. And he knocks it away. Kittles goes at Pierce. Nice move from Kerry Kittles. And the New Jersey Nets have erupted here in the first quarter. A 14-point lead and a 22nd timeout. Just over 4 minutes remaining in what has been a disastrous start for the Boston Celtics. Trailing 20-6. They've missed 12 of their first 13 from the field. Again, in the game 2 of the victory, PG, they didn't shoot the ball well. They shot 34%, but they had 18 offensive rebounds.
Well, they got second shot opportunities and they defended really well, particularly in transition. They're doing none of that tonight.
Rodney Rogers and Tony Delk both have come into the game, and McCarty throws it away. Celtics have not turned the ball over very much. They're one of the best in the NBA in that department, both regular season and playoffs, but that's their 4th.
They're not defending inside, but some of those points in the paint, that's not half-court offense with the exception of the one Richard Jefferson basket. It's fast breaks. They're just not getting back, and the Nets are getting layups in transition.
Delk on Kidd, and a foul call. Rodney Rogers with his first. And for the Boston Celtics, their 14th foul, so New Jersey will inbound. Lucius Harris comes in. And Kerry Kittles will sit. Harris continues to wear the mask from the broken bone in the side of his face, even though he's been cleared to play without it. But he's superstitious, has been shooting the ball well, wants to keep it on.
It's a good luck mask.
I thought you were going to say good look mask. I was going to disagree.
I think you're correct.
Kidd off the dribble. And Rodney Rogers hauls in the rebound.
Celtics need to be patient, not necessarily each trip down, but there's a lot of time left. You're not going to get it back all at once. They need poise right now.
Walter McCarty for 3. That one in and out, and Kidd off to the races. On the pull-up, Jason Kidd knocks it down. This is a little reminder from last night's game where the Sacramento Kings on the road coming up and just shocking the Lakers with a great start. An 8-0 run right now for New Jersey.
Well, there's no question Boston back on their heels, and that is the way to get back in the game when you're not shooting it from the perimeter.
New Jersey. An explosive start for Jason Kidd and the New Jersey Nets, a 16-point lead.
Another Celtic shot doesn't go. Here come the net fast break. Celtics back pretty good, but the mistake, Tony Delk right here doesn't pick Jason Kidd up high enough. Jason Kidd's not a great shooter, but he's too good a shooter. You got to stop him higher than that. That's a foul line jump shot. Jason Kidd will make those all afternoon, and he had Richard Jefferson in the right corner if he wanted him.
Meanwhile, Paul Pierce, as you see their shooting numbers here in the opening quarter, unbelievable. Pierce, of course, has struggled from the line in this series, but he did make his last 4 at the end of game 2 in the final 22 seconds. However,
you were
another
saying,
miss.
Mike?
He even admitted, PJ, that he changed his routine a little bit and his stance slightly in game 2. And that's not a good sign. McCarty the rebound.
Well, he's thinking about it. Anytime you think about it, that's not good.
Martin with the steal, and Kidd picking it up. Lucius Harris lost it out of bounds, but last touch by the Celtics. New Jersey ball with 17 on the shot clock.
Is there a word beyond sloppy, Mike, for the start for this game for the Celtics?
There's a few others. Horrendous is one. 1 of 14 from the field with 5 turnovers. But their defense perhaps trying to get them back in the game. Pierce, coast to coast, can't finish, but tipped in beautifully by Walker.
2 good hustle plays. Walter McCarty got a deflection on the inbounds pass. That caused the steal. Antoine Walker runs the floor and gets the tip in.
Well, we've seen in this series big leads in every game as Aaron Williams and a blocking foul called against Walter McCarty. That's his first, and Aaron Williams will shoot 2. Game 1, New Jersey had a 17-point lead and held on. Game 2, Boston had an 18-point lead and held on. We'll see what develops here in game 3.
Well, you see the roll to the basket. Jason Kidd finds him. Tough call right there. Bobby Delaney says block. It appeared they were outside the semicircle, so I'm sure he felt they just got there a step too late.
Free throw shooting at times has been downright awful. Not just these teams, but some of the other teams. Now, ironically, the Celtics have been shooting the ball from the line very well prior to this series, and it's mainly Pierce that's been the culprit.
Coaches lose a lot of sleep, Mike. You work so hard to get yourself to the free throw line. When you don't convert, you die.
Walker misses, trying to keep it alive, and Aaron Williams the rebound. Kidd looking for a shot. Allen, he tried to back it. What a steal into Jefferson, and Jefferson is fouled. And Jason Kidd, terrific hustle to set up Jefferson. Look, he's upset with himself.
Right, that's a Jason Kidd play right there. He almost breaks the backboard on the shot, but then he goes in and call it an offensive rebound, call it a steal. He finds Richard Jefferson. Look at this effort. I'd call that a steal. He just strips Paul Pierce. Ball right back in the lane. Good foul. Don't give him a layup. But the net's back on the free throw line.
Jefferson misses a free throw. Rodney Rogers picked up that foul, his second, so he'll go to the bench. And there you see Jefferson's numbers in the postseason. So a quick appearance for Rogers. Tony Battie back in. Jefferson hit 2 big free throws in game 1 to clinch that victory. But he misses 2 there, and he also had some problems in the Indiana series.
Well, he bounced back after a rookie first round. He played very well against Charlotte in the semifinals.
Delk for 3. Walker the rebound. Quick follow. And that's an underrated part of his game. He is such a good rebounder. He's got such good hands, even in traffic, can get the big board.
Antoine Walker fills up a stat sheet. Rebounds, assists, yes, of course, points also.
Aaron Williams steps out. Williams had one of his best playoff games. Hasn't played in a lot of playoffs prior to this year, just 3 games with Seattle a few years back. But he had a strong game, too, and his teammates did not.
Byron Scott's really happy with his play. Aaron Williams, one of the few players playing more minutes in the playoffs.
Delk rushed it. Jefferson the rebound. A 14-point New Jersey lead here in the final minute. Celtics just 3 of 20. Kidd misses a 3. Walker taking it to the goal. Inside to Battie. And he's hammered by Kenyon Martin. Martin will pick up his second. So Van Horn.
Kenyon Martin's fouls are not hard to see. He gets a foul, he gets his money's worth. You're not going to get a lot of easy looks when Kenyon Martin's on the floor.
So he has 2. Van Horn has 2. Rogers for Boston with 2. And Tony Petit at the line. Walker's going to sit. Eric Williams checks back in.
A little bit of a chance by Jim O'Brien. Grab Antoine Walker. Little bit of a rest. You have a defensive possession coming up. Maybe get him a rest right through the break between quarters.
2.4 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. Hey, somebody just made 2 straight free throws.
Unbelievable. They're going to have to fix the rims at halftime.
New Jersey will look for a final shot. Again, a couple of seconds difference. Kidd looking inside. Jefferson. Kenyon Martin wide open. That's a 3, and he puts it in. Kenyon Martin, not a three-point shooter. And this one will count if it goes, but way off the mark. And that will end the first quarter. Pierce, with that 3 for 20 performance in the last game, has missed his first 5 shots from the field, but he's got plenty of company. Boston, 14%. They've missed 18 of 21. And you see some of the numbers from the opening period. Lucius Harris way off balance, not a good shot, and Walker the rebound.
The bench points, Richard Jefferson set that tone early when he got the opportunity.
And that's more of Tony Petit's range, and he likes that baseline.
He loves the baseline, Michael. That's a good call. Tony Petit very comfortable along either side baseline.
Some guys, it's just a matter, an 18-footer and a 15-footer is a big difference. Anthony Johnson has come in. Jason Kidd getting a breather. Collins, the rookie, offensive foul. He lowered the shoulder, and Tony Petit draws the charge. Collins is first.
Tony Petit with a big play on both ends. Gets set, you see Jason Collins drops the right shoulder. Easy call for the officials.
Collins on Walker. That's a matchup that Boston would like to take advantage of. Williams double. Anderson. Delk. 2-pointer for Tony Delk as Pierce watches.
Double team on Eric Williams. They feel Richard Jefferson can't handle him down under. That opened up Kenny Anderson. He makes the extra pass to Kenny Delk.
Delk hit a big shot in game 2 when the Nets made that charge early in the 4th. He hit a huge 3-pointer. And he goes high for the rebound. Those little guys always look more impressive on the boards. He stepped out of bounds. 6, check that, 7 turnovers for the Boston Celtics. And they've only averaged in the first 2 games, they only have 10.5 turnovers a game, the average through the first 2.
Byron Scott's really been concerned. New Jersey's turned it over. They had 6 in the first quarter also. Very sloppy game for these 2 teams.
Jefferson gets past Eric Williams. And Richard Jefferson now 8 points off the bench. He also has 4 assists. Boy, they really needed that with Van Horn in the early foul trouble. They want to get it to Walker against Collins. Collins has the size, but certainly not the quickest off. Great pass, but Anderson can't finish. Antoine Walker set Anderson up beautifully. Anthony Johnson for 3. Hits nothing. Dangerous pass. Walker, left-handed.
Finally, a shot inside goes down. I'm waiting for Jim O'Brien to tell his guys to start shooting nothing but threes. They can't score inside.
Byron Scott does not like the slight shift in momentum and calls timeout. And Walker, of course, Jim O'Brien can't say enough about. Says he has one of the highest basketball IQs of anyone he's ever met. Raves about him. Hasn't always been easy for him here in Boston, PJ, because of his penchant for jacking up a lot of threes and that wiggle a lot of people don't like. But O'Brien feels that this guy is such a leader as Aaron Williams tips it in nicely. And while Pierce is getting a lot of the publicity now, a lot of the recognition, and rightfully so, Walker is still a big-time player.
Antoine Walker is an all-star, and it's his acceptance of that secondary role. He's stepped right up and said, Paul Pierce is the main man. He might be 1A, but it's very critical that Jim O'Brien has gotten Antoine to accept this role, and more importantly, that Antoine and Paul Pierce welcome Jim O'Brien's coaching.
Walker has said, hey, Paul Pierce is like Jordan, and I'm like Scottie Pippen. And, of course, he's a player that's been in the league a year longer, but he realizes what Pierce brings to the team and their willingness to share the spotlight has been crucial. Bob Delaney checking with the clock to make sure everything's set, both on the shot clock and game clock.
Bobby knows what he wants, and they're not putting it on the clock yet. There we go, 15 seconds.
Keith Van Horn back in the game. Only played a half minute before picking up 2 quick fouls. Pierce doubled. Walker had a notion about a 3. Now gets inside. Not a good shot, but Petit right there to clean it up.
The Jersey Nets normally not a quick double team, but they double team Williams and they're double teaming Pierce. They want to see Boston make some perimeter shots.
And a reach-in foul called against the Celtics and Antoine Walker. Walker picks up his first. Petit, though, with that basket. Byron Scott said after game 2, hey, the guy that beat us was Petit.
Well, he beat them on both ends. He blocked shots, he rebounded, and he scored.
Aaron Williams comes up short. Good boxing out from Eric Williams. And a foul is going to be called against Jason Collins. That's his second.
Byron Scott is very patient with his bench players. 4 of them on the floor right now with Keith Van Horn. He rests Jason Kidd early in the quarter, and if the lead starts to slip, Byron doesn't care. These guys are going to get their minutes regardless of how they're playing in a particular time.
Yeah, as we said, a lot of coaches like to shorten the rotation in the postseason. And Pierce with a huge ovation as he knocks down his first shot. He missed his first 5 of this game. And all of a sudden, the Celtics within 9. Lucius Harris. Walker, the rebound.
That'd be the biggest hand Paul Pierce ever got for his first field goal made.
Walker for 3. And the Celtics have pulled within 6. Celtics with 13 points the entire first quarter. Got 13 in the first 4 minutes of the second. And after trailing by as many as 16, pull within 6.
There's be a little more noise in the building, Michael.
Anthony Johnson. Martin inside. Tough shot from Kenyon Martin. And they just blew the whistle to make sure the basket counted. Players knocking it around after him. Martin silences the crowd for a moment. He's got 9 points. His kid ready to come back in.
1 substitute for Byron Scott, but it's a good one. Kenyon Martin for Jason Collins.
Pierce against Harris. Comes up short. Anthony Johnson the rebound. Harris fires away. That's a 3. Won't go. Aaron Williams has been called for a loose ball foul. And Williams picks up his first.
Those kind of fouls Byron Scott can live with. Offensive rebound attempts coming over the top. Coaches love that kind of hustle.
Kid got about a 4.5-minute breather. Both teams putting up the 3s and not being very successful. Kidd is on Walker right now on the switch. Walker again takes it and puts it in. 12 points for Antoine Walker.
Well, 1/2 of the Celtic combination is going strong. Paul Pierce needs to settle down.
Chance of defense here at the Fleet Center. Van Horn knocks one down. Keith Van Horn with his first shot. Again, has hardly played because of the early foul problems. You just don't know And Byron Scott says this from one game to the next. Is he going to see the aggressive, decisive Keith Van Horn? They certainly could use him here today.
Well, it looked like he had his coming out in Game 5 against Indiana, but he settled back a little bit the last 2 games.
Anderson, good move, didn't finish, and Van Horn gets the quick outlet to Kidd. Martin given an open room. Aaron Williams, the offensive board. Stripped down low. I think it was Kenny Anderson got a hand in there. And a foul on the way down the floor. Keith Van Horn has picked up his 3rd. So a rough start for Keith Van Horn.
Rod Thorne, first of all, congratulations on the honor, and just describe that, to be given an honor like that, Executive of the Year.
Well, I think it's an organizational honor. I think our players, our coaches, everybody in our organization contributed to that.
Take me back to the trade when you brought Jason Kidd in, and now we see the fruition of all of that. Describe what's happening here for this organization.
Well, our team was a very poor rebounding, defensive, and team chemistry team, and those are 3 of the areas Jason's really good in, and he's helped us in all of those areas.
I guess you're rolling that program up quite a bit here. This is one of those games that keeps you on the edge of your seat, but you must be enjoying the success of the franchise.
Well, we've come a long way, and hopefully we can keep coming.
Okay, and as you look to next season, even though this one is not over, what other kind of moves does the GM think about making to continue this type of success that you're seeing?
Well, we're going to do anything we can to try to keep improving. Obviously, we're not a perfect team, but we've come a long way, got a nice foundation, and we'll just keep trying to improve.
Hey, I think you have a soda and a box of popcorn there waiting for you to see. Congratulations and enjoy.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mike.
And Rod Thorne, again, so deserving of the award. Jerry Colangelo and Brian Colangelo of Phoenix, who made that Jason Kidd trade, they voted for him for Executive of the Year.
Rod Thorne did a fantastic job. We didn't even have enough room on the graphic. Also signing Aaron Williams is having a good day. Every move he's made with New Jersey, starting with Byron Scott, has been an excellent move, and they're all paying dividends early.
New Jersey Nets have cooled off a bit, but still hold on to that 10-point lead. Nice entry pass to Pierce, and he's fouled. And both Jefferson and Pierce go down hard. Anderson with a beautiful bounce pass, and Pierce will go back to the free throw line. Jefferson his 2nd.
Good look by Kenny Anderson inside, Mike. We showed in the open down in New Jersey. Paul Pierce spent a lot of time on his back. He's going to go inside and try and score in close. The New Jersey Nets are going to make him pay. That's just playoff basketball.
Pierce perfect on that first free throw. And there you see, he's always been a solid free throw shooter. In fact, excellent early on in the playoffs, but the big struggles as Petit now will sit down.
80%, 81% from the line in the regular season. Paul Pierce has a great stroke. Your confidence gets a little shaken when you miss a bunch in a row, even when you're as good a free thrower as Paul Pierce.
He just keeps getting to the line. 37 free throws in not even 2.5 games so far. Celtics within 8. Eric Williams went for the steal, and it's called for the foul. 2 on Eric Williams. He's one of those guys that always seems like he's having a great time out there, no matter what the situation, no matter what the game.
He loves to play, and he plays hard, and it's a heck of a matchup when he's guarding Kenyon Martin, because you got 2 people who are really ready to battle. The Nets really looking to get Kenyon Martin involved on the offensive end, and he's responded.
Kidd way outside, and Pierce with a strong rebound.
It was a good defensive possession by the Celtics.
Pierce driving, and a blocking foul. Well, Pierce taking a lot of contact as Jefferson has now picked up his 3rd.
Well, Paul Pierce is getting real comfortable with the parquet. You see Richard Jefferson reaches in right there. He doesn't reach in. That could have been an offensive foul, but again, it was caused by the contact out there on the perimeter. Paul Pierce back on the line.
Jefferson reached in first, committing the foul, and Pierce kind of pushed off, but the Nets in the penalty. They call it before the act of shooting, but since it's the 5th penalty, or the 5th foul of the quarter, Pierce to the line. So he's 4 of 5 from the free throw line as Jefferson sits down with his 3 fouls. 4:02 remaining here in the 2nd. A 7-point New Jersey lead, along with P.J. Carlos-Simone and Lewis Johnson. Mike Green on hand. Nets came out of the blocks, took a 16-point lead. We're on fire. But now you see the free throws starting to help Boston get back into this.
Free throws in a much better defensive effort in the second quarter.
Lucius Harris. McCullough with the offensive rebound. Kittles for three. And Rogers with the board. Rebounding very close, New Jersey with a 2 rebounding edge.
Well, they're hanging in, but Kerry Kittles continues to struggle from a three-point line.
That one was halfway down. And a loose ball foul call. Eric Williams has now picked up his 3rd. And that could be costly for the Boston Celtics, so he's going to have to sit for a bit as Walter McCarty comes in.
Eric Williams brings a lot to the floor, not just the fact that he's been shooting it well from the perimeter, but the defense, the rebounding, and Jim O'Brien calls him the middle linebacker of his defense. He's always talking to his teammates.
Harris for 3. Lucius Harris knocks it down. Now, if I'm New Jersey, I get him the ball next time down the court. He is one of the streakiest guys. If he's hot, you've got to get him the ball.
He's always been a big spurt player, and Jason Kidd realizes that. Look for him to find him.
Here's bad pass. Harris ahead to Kidd. Boy, he runs the floor and gets an easy 2.
Turnovers continue to hurt the Boston Celtics.
Steal from Kittles. Kittles for 3. And again off the mark. He is now 0 for 13 from three-point range in this series. And a blocking foul called on Kenyon Martin. That's his 3rd. Paul Pierce continues to struggle shooting the basketball. Again, 3 of 20 in game 3. Had a great start in game 1, then struggled a bit later. Well, 1 of 9. PJ, do you think it's a matter, is he rushing his shot? Is he not getting good shots? Or are the Nets just making sure he's not a guy that's going to beat them?
Well, it's a lot more New Jersey Nets. He had a good first quarter, and really from that point on, they're getting into him. They're not letting him get shots without putting the ball on the floor. They're forcing him to take the ball to the perimeter, so he's a little out of his comfort zone. I think it's a lot of New Jersey Net defense, and I think it's Paul's thinking about it right now because he's struggling. Nobody realizes that more than Paul Pierce.
He refuses to give credit. He keeps saying, I'm stopping myself. But the Nets defense is not getting the proper credit all season long. Harris, nice move in the left hand. But New Jersey's defense has been just superb, and that's maybe where Jason Kidd has been as important as his passing and setting up his teammates.
Well, we heard Rod Thorne say what he brought to this team, but of the 3 elements, the defense is the one that's most noticeable in comparison to last season.
They are a terrific defensive team. And they made it very difficult for Pierce. Lewis Johnson tells us that Jim O'Brien during that last timeout pointed out that he told his Celtic team, let's get it down to 7 by halftime. Right now it's 11 with just over a minute and a half remaining. Harris, that's a 2-pointer. Harris perhaps in one of those stretches. He's the oldest player on the New Jersey Nets and has seen a lot of bad times with this team. There's been a spark off the bench. 7 points now. Walker. Collins does a good job keeping him in front. Walker settling for that one.
Well called by good defense by Jason Collins.
Coming up on a minute remaining here in the first half. The New Jersey Nets on the road, bouncing back with a terrific first 2 quarters after a disappointing home loss in game 2. Nice feed inside to Kittles. The ball movement has been exceptional. That's their 17 assists on 23 field goals.
They're all willing to distribute the ball, and Todd McCullough, a big center with good hands, as Kerry Kittles steps in and goes coast to coast.
And just like that, it's the largest lead of the game.
Celtics had it back close. They were back in the game, and then they got careless with turnovers.
And the Celtics hearing some boos from the crowd.
Mismatch out here on the perimeter.
Nets defense exceptional. Good ball movement this time. Walter McCarty hesitated. Can't connect on the 3. And Kidd looks up and says, all right, we'll hold it for the final shot.
Very seldom do you make a shot after you hesitate.
Good ball movement again. Harris hits the 3. A 20-point lead for New Jersey with 7/10 of a second remaining. A stunning first half at the Fleet Center. Celtics certainly have their hands full to try and make one of the biggest comebacks in NBA playoff history. Jim O'Brien's team down by 20. Largest halftime deficit ever overcome to win a playoff game way back in '48. Baltimore winning at Philadelphia, the 21-point halftime deficit. And they'll try and do it with a 20-point deficit. 3 times this season, the Boston Celtics have been down by 18 and have come back to 1. So they certainly have the capabilities, and with the 3-point threat, that possibility is there to go on the run. We nearly saw an unbelievable comeback last night in Los Angeles. Lakers were down huge and came back. But New Jersey playing on all cylinders right now, PJ.
Well, we're going to find out right away. You'll see the energy level of the Boston Celtics in these first couple minutes.
Kittles mishandles it. Shot clock, still plenty of time. 6 left. Kittles makes the move. High arcing shot. And the lead up to 22. This crowd was so fired up at the start of this game, and New Jersey came out, went up 20-6 before the blink of an eye, completely took the crowd out. Boston pulled within 6 at one point, but the Nets kept coming. Ball tipped in nicely by Walker.
Kenny Anderson continues to struggle. 0 for 6 for the Celtic point guard.
Van Horn, foul problems in the first half, floats it in, but a bad pass and a turnover.
Well, the one thing that Byron Scott's really got to be concerned about is turnovers, because other than turning the ball over, it's going to be difficult for Boston to come from this far back.
Kenyon Martin. Van Horn. Martin also playing with 3 fouls, as is Van Horn and Jefferson. Martin left-handed. Just kind of flipped it up there, hoping for a foul call. Here comes Walker, hopping in, left-handed. Can't finish.
And the story of the game for the Boston Celtics, missed opportunities inside.
And Kidd knocks down the 2-pointer. This crowd is absolutely stunned. Kenny Anderson gets inside. Ball tipped. Battie right there on the follow. Battie can't hit it. Van Horn the rebound. Kittle's running the floor. Gets past, and he draws the foul. And let's send it over to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Mike, from the first half, the Celtics and their poor shooting and poor defense, and you know the coaches coming down the hallway from the locker room were almost speechless. One assistant told me that, you know, at this level, you can't allow teams to shoot uncontested shots. And, of course, only 4 assists. Well, that says a lot. And as for the problems with Paul Pierce, when I asked him about that, nobody had an answer. Now, the Nets, on the other hand, on their way back to the locker room, kept yelling 0-0, 0-0. And I asked them, what does that mean? And they said their philosophy after the first half is that's what the score is. So no matter how good or bad it was in the first half, it's 0-0. They have to do it all over again. Mike?
Thank you, Lewis. It's not a bad approach to take. It's hard to execute it when you're up by those kind of numbers.
It's 5-2 right now. Still good news for the Nets.
Kittle's on the pull-up. Kerry Kittle's finding the stroke. Kittle's now at 13 points. He leads the Nets in scoring. They've got 4 players in double figures. It is hard to believe. A 25-point lead. Pierce throws up one that's not even close. Eric Williams with the steal. Walker nails a 3.
Eric Williams playing with his customary energy. Antoine Walker, the lone bright light for Boston on the offensive end.
Nice feed inside. Walker went for the steal. Now he's yelling at Tony Battie. You get the feeling he didn't like the help defense there. And it's back up to 24. The key for Boston is obviously they have to hit shots, but they just have to start playing better defense.
You got to play on both ends. You can't come from this far behind unless you shut the team down. Couple that with the fact that Boston can't throw it in the ocean right now.
25% from the field, what the Celtics are shooting.
Nets are closing in on 60%.
Van Horn drills that one. Keith Van Horn now with 6 points. And this is the latest, largest lead of the game.
Hey, this started out as a great day in Boston. Red Sox win the first 2 games. The Yankees started the bad news today. The New Jersey Nets are continuing the trend.
Anderson with his first field goal. Kenny Anderson had been 0 for 7. And that cuts it to 24. Now, the one thing that can happen, again, we saw it last night in Los Angeles, you get that huge lead so early in a game, you kind of lose your edge a little bit. And sometimes it's very difficult to get it back. And we saw the Lakers make that run at Sacramento. It's so early. I mean, it's human nature to let down a little bit when you get up by such a big margin.
Particularly when it's an early lead. This isn't an early lead. They opened it up late in the second quarter. They haven't looked back.
Kidd left his feet, fouled McCullough, blocked by Battie, but a foul. Battie with his second. Todd McCullough will shoot 2.
New Jersey just cutting up the Celtics in the half-court offense. They spread you out high and wide. Keith Van Horn with the backdoor cut from the opposite side. Jason Kidd finds him. That's the play Antoine Walker was upset about because he didn't get help. Now a little bit of a dribble move. Keith Van Horn is such a field player. When he's comfortable and playing with confidence, he's totally different. When he struggles, it's very evident.
McCullough missing the first free throw and knocking down the second. Van Horn 6 points and 4 boards. New Jersey by 25. All 3 games in the series so far, they've been big double-digit leads. Pierce, double team, and able to put it in. That's what he sees every time he puts the ball on the floor. Okay, gets by 1. There's another one right there. They have done an excellent job of double teaming, but then recovering and rotating after somebody picks him up.
Well, they're helping out. Kerry Kittles normally doesn't get the defensive assignment on Paul Pierce, but he's done a great job today making Paul work to even catch it. And even when he does catch it, you know Jason Kidd's always going to be lurking. Kittles makes Pierce put the ball on the floor. That takes him right into Jason Kidd. He's working to even get a good shot at the basket.
Pierce with a couple of deflections on the last 2 net passes.
Byron Scott's tried a lot of defenders. He likes Kenyon Martin on Paul Pierce. He likes Richard Jefferson, but Kerry Kittles has done an exceptional job today.
Bad pass from Martin. Walker steps back for the 3. And McCullough the rebound. Walker hearing some boos. Yeah, that's his shot, and Jim O'Brien likes him to take it, but you can get a better shot than that, especially in that particular transition play.
Well, Tony Battie was quoted as saying it's been great having the crowd as revved up as they are.
McCullough blocked. Second effort puts it in.
But to finish that point, he said, hey, Boston fans are used to winning and they're going to turn. We don't play well, they let us know. Players don't mind that. They know better than anybody how poorly they're playing right now. They're going to get a little more from Jim O'Brien.
New Jersey Nets have not let up. The 20-point lead at halftime. They've outscored the Celtics 14-9 here in this third quarter. And with this commanding 25-point lead, Jason Kidd has been superb once again. 12 points, 9 assists. But again, overall, the team, 20 total assists. And Keith Van Horn has just picked up his 4th foul, giving a little bit of lip service to Billy Spooner right now.
Byron may let him stay in the game. Foul trouble is really not a concern right now. I think Byron would rather see Keith Van Horn get some playing time if he can avoid the ref's whistles.
Right now, the main concern for Byron Scott is that the timer keeps starting the clock every time the ball's in bounds. And a foul as Pierce went to the hole. Kerry Kittles with a bump. And Kittles picks up his first. These are those games where you keep looking up at the clock. You're up by so much. It's still 6:11 left. You can't wait for the time to tick down. There's so much time remaining. Over 18 minutes left in this game. Anderson inside.
And Anderson misses his first 7, gets 2 in a row to go. But what surprised me, Mike, I thought Boston would come out with more energy and purpose to start the second half, and I've not seen evidence of that yet.
Van Horn rushed that shot. Walker with his 6th rebound. And the shooting numbers, 55% for New Jersey, 28% for the Celtics, who turn it over for the 12th time. Van Horn. And wisely, Nets will take some time off the clock. again, you get so caught up in a guy's shooting percentage. Nice feed inside from McCullough. What a perfect pass from Jason Kidd. I was going to say, PJ, you get so caught up in, the poor shooting, and you tend to forget the defense, but New Jersey's defense has really been the star of this game.
There's no question, Mike. Neither of these teams gets credit. You don't see evidence of it today from the Celtics, but the reason these teams are so improved is the defensive end.
And there's more defense. Jason Kidd helping out there, drawing the charge, and Rogers will pick up his third.
Jason Kidd, this is a pick and roll. They think he's looking for Kenyon Martin, but he sees Todd McCullough stepping in on the opposite side. That's just great pick and roll execution by the Nets.
Van Horn, that's a 2 for Van Horn. Eric Williams, good boxing out, grabs the board. The Boston Celtics down by 25 in desperate need of a good run. Rogers somehow finds some room to get that ball in.
Nets kind of walk it up. They want to execute a little bit in the half court right now.
New Jersey has not lost 2 straight games in the playoffs as Kittles puts that one down. Every time they've lost a game in the postseason, like game 1 against Indiana, they've bounced right back. So no 2-game losing streaks. Of course, Boston once lost 2 in a row in the Philadelphia series, losing games 3 and 4. Anderson finding the stroke, rattles it in.
Well, Boston used their home court to win in the first round. They stepped back with the bounce-back win themselves against Detroit in round 2.
Celtics finally got their shooting percentage over 30%. Now they need to make some stops. Offensive foul. Todd McCullough pushing off to get free. And McCullough picks up his first.
When Rodney Rogers is on the floor playing the 5 spot and defending Todd McCullough, the Nets love to look inside. You saw Jason Kidd find him on the pick and roll. They wanted to go inside again. Todd maybe a little bit too aggressive trying to get himself open.
McCullough sits down with 11 rebounds. He's the leading rebounder in the game. Pierce. Kittles goes straight up. Does a good job contesting the shot. Martin falling away. That's a bad shot. Rogers the rebound.
Exactly right. They want to push it, the New Jersey Nets do, but they don't want a quick shot unless it's a good look. Celtics can't even get a good look. Paul Pierce wanted Antoine Walker inside, just threw it out of bounds. Too high a pass.
You almost get the feeling, Pierce feeling a little pressure. He's really pressing the issue, trying to make the big play. Struggling shooting and now turning it over. Aaron Williams drops it in.
Celtics are just back on their heels. New Jersey Nets the opposite. They're taking it to them. This game very, very similar to game 1, except that early in the 3rd quarter in game 1, Boston made a little bit of a move.
McCarty, Jefferson, excellent defense staying in front. Then a pretty fast block from behind by Kerry Kittles. Nets making all the defensive plays. Kittles wide open. And McCarty the rebound.
Well, the one constant has been Kerry Kittles' 3-point shooting.
He's 0 for 14 from 3-point range in this series. Now, he's played a strong game. 15 points, 6 boards, and a strong defense on Pierce. And Walker turns it over. This has been a disaster for the Boston Celtics. Kittles can't finish, and Kidd just takes it away. And that's the epitome of the game right there.
Last season, they were bottom 10 in the 3 main defensive categories. Look at this year. 5th in points allowed, 10th in 3-point defense, and number 6 in field goal percentage D. They've got the Celtics at 30%. They're under 35% for this entire series.
And you want to look at one of the keys to that turnaround as Rogers makes the steal off Aaron Williams. There's Kidd in pursuit, knocks it away. It's Jason Kidd and his defense. Kenny Anderson called for a travel. So much is made of Jason's his flashy passing. I mean, no one's better at finding the open man, at seeing the floor, but he sees the floor equally on the defensive end.
He sees the floor on the defensive end. He draws charges. He's one of the best in the league at creating steals. He sets the tone for this team by how hard he plays on both ends. Talk to the net players. They talked about, Todd McCullough told us yesterday, what impresses him is the way Jason Kidd practices every day. You're talking a 4 straight year, first team All-NBA player, 3 times first-team All-NBA defensive team. When your best player plays like that, everybody else falls in line.
He's going to shoot a technical foul as Rodney Rogers upset with that last call for the technical.
Well, frustration obvious for the Boston Celtics. You can't help but be frustrated. Play as well as they played. You've finally got a home game in the conference finals, and you fall flat on your face. You better believe they're frustrated.
Well, let's look for a negative from the New Jersey Nets. They're 3 of 9 from the free throw line. And that's where it ends, because it has been a superb performance from them.
The more aggressive team has won every game. Even in game 2, when both teams struggled to score, clearly the Celtics were the more aggressive team. In game 1 and so far this afternoon, only one aggressive team.
Kidd called for travel, then has some words with Paul Pierce afterwards. Crowd getting on Jason Kidd. Kidd is not a talker on the floor. We're going to have double technicals against Pierce and Kidd. Smart move from Joe Crawford. Again, perhaps maybe in this game it's not going to matter, but what this does, you don't shoot free throws on a double technical. It has you 1 technical foul away from being automatically ejected.
You got a couple of native Californians that have played against each other a lot. You got a Northern-Southern California rivalry. These two guys really respect each other, but Paul Pierce is just devastated right now with his struggles.
Rogers really going at it. That basket will not count. Foul on New Jersey before the shot. It'll be their 3rd team foul, and they'll take it out of bounds. Let's go back down the other end of the floor with Kidd and Pierce after the traveling violation on Jason Kidd.
Well, you see the split right there. Paul Pierce tries to draw an offensive foul, but he's got both arms up. He's got his elbows and his forearms up, and Jason Kidd's just telling him, I don't care if you step in, but keep those elbows down. Probably use different words, though.
Pierce off the mark. Pierce now 2 of 14 from the field. And an offensive foul call against Aaron Williams, pushing off down low to try and get position on Pierce. Williams picks up his 2nd.
Well, Bobby Delaney, Joe Crawford, and Bill Spooner, the officials right now, the one thing they're going to make sure this game does not get out of control. Anything that looks like a little bit chippy, they're going to blow the whistle right now.
You ask referees, sometimes these are the hardest games to officiate. A close game is not, because players are concentrating their focus. Game like this, there's frustration setting in. There's players that lose focus a little bit. Delk goes hard and draws the foul, and Tony Delk will shoot 2.
Mike, let me amplify your comments. This is a hard game to play in. Every player will tell you that. It's a hard game to coach as Tony Delk tries to go to the basket. Aaron Williams and Kenyon Martin are not allowing a layup. It's a hard game to broadcast. It's a hard game to do anything.
Aaron Williams with his 3rd foul. Every game with you is up. No, I'm not going to say that. Delk gets it. Our Memorial Day weekend coverage of the NBA playoffs rolls on tomorrow at 5 Eastern. Chris Webber and the Kings now up 2-1. Face the Lakers at the Staples Center. Then on Memorial Day Monday at 3 Eastern, the WNBA on NBC returns. The Sparks, who won today, take on the Houston Comets. And following the WNBA, Game 4 this series between the Celtics and the Nets. NBA playoffs all weekend long, only on NBC. 23-point lead, final minute, 3rd quarter. Nets had the big first half lead and have continued to build on it. Kidd fires away, and Tony Bettina rebound.
Listen, Kidd did well.
And that time Kidd just got in front. A very close call. And you see the clock over the Boston Celtic basket is out. So they're checking that. It's fine down the other end. And the big scoreboard up top is fine.
Well, I got news for you, Mike. If there's a shot clock they don't need, it's the one on top of the Celtics basket right now.
I think the Celtics wouldn't mind if the entire scoreboard went out. 74-51. About a 2-second difference between shot and game clock.
I like to put the ball in Jason Kidd's hand and then run a little play for Kerry Kittle's under.
Kidd loses it. Nice save that time by Tony Bettina. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Tony Delk, excellent feed, and Rogers able to put it in. Jefferson from 3/4 court, and that will do it. Ending the 3rd quarter. Paul Pierce continues to struggle. Clock is fixed. Fourth quarter set to begin in Boston as the Nets have pummeled the Boston Celtics. Paul Pierce struggling. He's been complaining to officials, and he just heard it pretty good from his teammate Antoine Walker in the huddle the last time. Walker let the team have it and also let Pierce have it. Told him to stop whining, stop worrying about officials and no calls. And he said to the team, hey, the Nets are laughing at us right now.
I think that was the gist of the message. They're disrespecting us right now. We can't back down. We got to play. It doesn't matter whether we win this game or not. We got to go back at the Nets right now.
Jefferson, the latest to guard Pierce. Nice quick move. Of course, Pierce is a big-time fourth-quarter player, but if the Celtics put themselves in too big a hole to make it matter. Tony Battie was limping as he ran up the floor, and they forced a turnover.
Not too big a hole if the Nets turn the ball over.
Walker against Van Horn, goes right at him left-handed. And just like that, it's cut to 17. This is the closest they've been in the second half.
This is what I thought I'd see in the beginning of the third quarter, Mike.
But they still have a long uphill climb. Have an entire quarter to do it. Jefferson, nice reverse move, doesn't finish, and Pierce the rebound. And a foul call on Richard Jefferson. Not a smart play, and Jefferson has picked up his fifth.
Well, the two superstars, you saw them talking at the timeout between the quarters. Paul Pierce responds right away. Antoine Walker says, I'm just not talking. I'll show you what I mean. He also goes right to the basket.
Tony Battie, short.
I don't think that's the shot Jimmy O'Brien wanted.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Mike, I can't stress enough, it's not just this afternoon. Is the game over? No way. But it's more important for the Celtics in this series to step up and respond right now.
Pierce draws the foul and one. Somehow held on. And he's got a chance for the three-point play. The Celtics have cut it to 15.
Paul Pierce again puts the ball on the floor. That's a careless foul right there. If you're not going to foul him hard, let him shoot a layup. Don't give him 3 points.
And a 14-point deficit now for the Boston Celtics, and the crowd very much back into it as Tony Delk got a little too aggressive that time. And Delk picks up the personal. That's his first.
We talked about the need for poise from the Celtics early on when they fell behind. Right now, the New Jersey Nets cannot fall back on their heels. They've got to execute aggressively on the offensive end.
Lucius Harris tries to draw the foul. Oh, they wave it off. The ball above the cylinder. Offensive interference. If any of the ball is above the cylinder, you can't touch it. That's a great play from Jefferson, but it looks like it should have been negated.
It's a big-time play from Richard Jefferson. You'd love to see that.
Pierce gets past Jefferson again and puts it in.
No New Jersey net help defense. That's 4 plays. The Celtics have taken it to the rim.
A 9-0 run in 2 minutes. Standing ovation at the Fleet Center. Nets need a timeout.
Paul Pierce puts the ball on the floor, but it's less what they're doing on the floor. It's what went on between the quarters. The Celtics are responding to Antoine Walker's challenge.
Commissioner David Stern now with our Lewis Johnson.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Well, Commissioner, I'm sure you're loving this live. What a scene. How about the history of all you've seen, and now this again here with the Boston Celtics?
Basketball is back in Boston. It doesn't get any better for the fans than this.
What do you think about the Celtics now returning to the court after 14 seasons, back to the Eastern Conference Finals, I should say?
It's, you know, look at the way they're being appreciated. They're an exciting team, but so are the Nets, and we've got a couple of great series going.
Well, enjoy. Good to see you here.
Thank you. See you in Sacramento or L.A. or on the road.
All right. Get some earplugs, Commissioner. Mike, back to you.
Pierce down the other end. Thank you, Lewis. That last shot, not a good one for New Jersey. They're starting to rush things. Pierce trying to draw the foul on Van Horn. Walker with 8 on the shot clock. And a foul on Kittles. Third team foul against New Jersey. Second on Kittles. Boston will take it out.
I like the decision by Paul Pierce, Mike. He didn't settle for the jump shot. He went to Antoine Walker. He tried to get into the paint. The Celtics already with 4 field goals inside this quarter.
Pierce doubled. Anderson left wide open. Puts it in. 11-0 run. You wonder, because coming back from such a large deficit takes a lot out of you, how much it will take out of Boston. But right now, the adrenaline is just pumping. Aaron Williams. That's a big shot from Aaron Williams.
That's a huge shot, but in answer to your question, Mike, it doesn't matter. The Celtics are back playing. That's the more important factor.
Walker drives hard. Can't finish, and Lucius Harris with the rebound. Kittles lost it, got it back. Tony Delk tips it. Look at the hustle for the play, and Jason Kidd comes up with it. And then Aaron Williams throws it away.
Turnovers, the biggest enemy in the New Jersey Nets right now. Kenny Anderson made a good defensive play to disrupt Kerry Kittle's trip to the basket.
In the first 2 games of this series, big leads were built. Comebacks came, but they fell short. This was the biggest lead built as Batum misses. Anderson with the steal, and he draws the foul. And Kenny Anderson will shoot 2 as Lucius Harris picks up his 3rd.
The Boston Celtics start this quarter with 11 straight points. No field goal bigger today than that one by Aaron Williams for the New Jersey Nets. Mike, but how about Kenny Anderson? Same thing Jason Kidd has done twice today. Strips the offensive rebounder, creates an opportunity.
Misses the free throw, and free throw so huge in this game in terms of trying to get back into it. Now, Boston has shot well from the line. They're 16 of 20, but every free throw enormous right now when you're down by double figures or more.
They'll need more than the 80% free throw shooting. New Jersey Nets right now execute in the half court, but take care of the ball. They're closing in on 20 turnovers.
Only 4 minutes have gone by here in the 4th, so still plenty of time. Harris, nice feed to Williams, and a foul. Pierce picking up the personal. Lucius Harris with a pretty pass. Second foul on Pierce.
The New Jersey bench continues to produce for Byron Scott. Lucius Harris, great penetration, draws the help. Aaron Williams can't finish again. Good foul by Paul Pierce.
Aaron Williams, 83% from the free throw line in this series. Next Saturday, 3 Eastern, the French Open returns to NBC. American Andre Agassi, a French Open victory in '99, made him only the 5th male player in tennis history to complete the career Grand Slam. French Open returning to NBC next Saturday at 3 Eastern.
Aaron Williams, less than 19. He's almost 5 minutes more a game than he was in the regular season because he's producing in the playoffs.
At both ends, Pierce inside. Paul Pierce already in this 4th quarter has 9 points. He led the NBA in 4th quarter points. 26 times during this season, 5 in the playoffs. He's reached double figures in just the 4th quarter alone. Harris, Williams again. Aaron Williams with a terrific shot, plenty of contact. Both teams upset, but Batum wanted an offensive foul and Williams wanted the defensive foul.
Referees laid off both of the calls. Talking about Paul Pierce's 4th quarters, Mike, no team has he torched more in the 4th quarter this season than the New Jersey Nets.
And that one game where he had 46 of his 48 in the second half against them. Tony Delk hits the 3. Boston just 3 of 15 from downtown, but that was a big one. Kittle's cutting inside, and he draws the foul. It's the 3rd team foul. Let's see if they call it Here the active shooting.
Paul Pierce looks like a different player this quarter. The confidence, great spin move right to the rim. The help is too slow coming. Tony Delk is instant offense. You can't give him that good a look.
Kittles gets the roll. That last foul against Tony Batiste, his third, as he discusses it with Bob Delaney. Rodney Rogers comes back in, and Batiste's going to sit. Batiste 6 points, 9 boards.
Aaron Williams has come alive. I think Jim O'Brien feels Rodney Rogers may be a better defensive matchup against the very active Aaron Williams.
Well, the Nets have struggled from the line all game, but they've hit 4 in a row here. 4 big ones. And they're back up by 12. Pierce inside, puts it in. He has 11 points in 5.5 minutes of this fourth quarter. And now 20 for the game. It's almost like a light switch was turned on. Maybe that switch turned on by Antoine Walker in his huddle chat. Kittles misfires. Kenyon Martin high for the rebound. And he draws the foul.
No accident. The aggressive players are stepping up for the Nets. But how about Paul Pierce? Splits the defense even though Jason Kidd is there. Great body control. Watch him turn his shoulder to avoid Jason Kidd and gets to the rim. He avoids the offensive foul and has the physical presence to finish. But Aaron Williams and Kenyon Martin, they're the aggressive New Jersey Nets along with Jason Kidd. They're the guys making it happen on this end.
Martin hits the free throw. The last foul on Walker, his third. That was a very big rebound from Kenyon Martin. Only his third of the game. Another missed free throw. They had hit 5 in a row prior to that. Kenny Anderson bumped by Aaron Williams. And the Nets in the penalty.
Excuse me, Mike, good recognition by Kenny Anderson. Rodney Rogers switched out on him. He was trying to help. Kenny Anderson just put it right on the floor. We see Paul Pierce walking around very gingerly right now.
Kenny Anderson, the veteran point guard, will go to the line for 2. Anderson was 0 for 7 from the field at one point. He was in his last 4 shots. Knocks down that free throw. 10-point game. We're exactly at the midway point of the fourth quarter. The Boston Celtics were getting embarrassed on their home floor. Were booed by their fans. Getting whacked by as many as 26 points in the second half. Suddenly come alive here in the fourth quarter. That after a pretty verbal bashing by Antoine Walker in the huddle prior to the start of the fourth. He let his teammates know he was not happy. And they've got it to single digits. Rogers goes for the fake, blocking foul, and 1. Walker will pick up his 4th. 11-point Jersey lead, but Paul Pierce once again having a strong fourth quarter. He's done it so many times, PJ, during this season.
He's playing with emotion this quarter, Mike. You see what he's done all year. Number 2 in the NBA in points in the fourth quarter. Number 2 in the playoffs.
Meanwhile, Aaron Williams, who had a playoff career high 16 points in game 2, now has 16 points in game 3. He has been just an enormous player off the bench for Byron Scott. Lead back to 12, just over 5.5 to play here in his 4th. A huge turnaround, but still an uphill climb for the Celtics. Kenny Anderson inside. And Anderson is in his last 5 shots from the field.
I think the Nets were in zone there. Looked to be a little bit confused, but Jason Kidd didn't go through with Kenny Anderson. I think they showed a 2-3 zone. Kenny Anderson just went right to the rim.
Trying to fight over a screen. Kittles, Pierce with him. Kittles, nice adjustment, blocked by Tony Delk. 2-on-1. Delk inside. Can't finish. And Harris the rebound.
Tony Delk is not a point guard. You've got to finish that fast break opportunity.
Kidd. Ball tipped by Harris, but right to Delk. Delk for 3. And gets his own rebound. Chips it to his teammate. Kenyon Martin bumped by Walker. Nice feed inside. And Rodney Rogers is fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Antoine Walker with good recognition. He finds Rodney Rogers down underneath.
Aaron Williams picks up his 5th.
Walker looks under. Aaron Williams tries to come over. That's going to be a big foul, Mike. Normally we wouldn't be that concerned, but Aaron Williams right now has been the glue for the Nets.
Big free throws for Rogers. Hits the first. Coming up next, join NBC for a special presentation when New York's bravest meet New York's finest on the gridiron. You won't want to miss this annual celebration of New York's heroes. Takes on a special meeting, of course, this year for those who courageously lost their lives on September the 11th. America's heroes, the firemen versus the policemen, next on NBC. This is the closest the Celtics have been in the second half. They've trailed by as many as 26 and now down by 8. Aaron Williams has been the offensive spark for New Jersey. Harris, Martin, the offensive board. Still plenty of time, just under 4.5 to play. And that's where the Nets want the ball, in the hands of Jason Kidd. Kittles, nice move to get rid of Pierce. And Kerry Kittles has returned after a nightmare shooting game in game 2.
Let's credit Kenyon Martin with the huge offensive rebound.
Tony Delk again getting close but lost the ball. And a reaching foul is going to go. Jason Kidd called for the foul. And Rodney Rogers will shoot free throws again.
Started with an offensive rebound. Kerry Kittles with the good hesitation and the pump fake. He doesn't want to take a three-point shot. That's a good decision. He gets into a more comfortable range.
Kidd picks up just his first foul. It's an amazing kid who plays so aggressively on defense. He didn't foul out at all this year. All the minutes that he plays as Rogers hits that one. In fact, he's had 5 different seasons where he's not fouled out, despite his aggressive physical presence on the defensive end.
He's got great hands, and the officials respect his defensive presence. He gets a little bit of slack, but it's deserved. He's an all-defensive player.
Big free throws from Rodney Rogers. 8-point game, just under 4 to play. A standing ovation here at the Fleet Center. Martin against Walker. Martin rushed the shot. Rebound tipped and taken by Delk. Boston Celtics trying to make one of the great playoff comebacks in NBA history.
Plenty of time.
Good poise here for Boston. Pierce inside. Wild shot. Rebound taken by Aaron Williams. Stolen by Rogers. Inside and a foul. And Martin tries to hold up Rogers after a hard foul. I heard a second whistle, which sometimes signifies a flagrant, but I don't think so on that one.
No, the officials all looked at each other. Bobby Delaney and Joe Crawford made eye contact with Bill Spooner. I think what they said was he wasn't trying to hurt him.
Martin, of course, who had a number of flagrant fouls this season. In fact, was suspended a number of games because of it, but that time just looked like a good, clean, hard foul.
Rodney goes to the basket. Grabbed him by the shoulder, but then helped him from falling down.
Just a good hard foul that time. Rogers, meanwhile, 4 for 4 from the line here in this 4th quarter.
The turnover caused the play right there. Now Rodney Rogers comes in. Kenyon Martin reached out. You've got to allow a little slack in the playoffs.
Rogers now 20 for 21 from the free throw line in the postseason, and it's a 6-point game. They've sliced 20 points off what looked like an insurmountable lead. Walker knocks it away. Martin inside. Williams can't finish. Martin tips it. Delk with the save. Anderson. Delk inside. Back out to Anderson. And Anderson looking for a better opportunity. Walker foul. Won't go. But 2 more free throws coming up. This building ready to explode. After being dominated for the first 3 quarters of this game, the Boston Celtics exploding here in the 4th. and perhaps on the verge of the greatest fourth quarter comeback in NBA playoff history. They were down by 21 to start this fourth quarter. Phoenix defeating Houston down 18 to start the fourth back in '94. And that one took overtime. Walker, big free throw. 5-point game.
Mike, they're defending. Their defense has been better each successive quarter, and the New Jersey Nets are helping them with turnovers. The Nets' 20 turnovers have led to 20 Celtic points.
And the Celtics 12 of 13 from the free throw line in this fourth period. Kidd double team. Nice feed to Williams, who's fouled hard. And Aaron Williams, who's made the key buckets for New Jersey, and there hasn't been a lot of them here in the fourth. He'll shoot 2 more as Antoine Walker has picked up his 5th.
Another good look from Jason Kidd, and now the go-to man for the New Jersey Nets, Aaron Williams, with 9 points already for the Nets in the fourth quarter.
And he hits another free throw. 2:29 remaining. The Celtics were trailing by as many as 26 in the third quarter. Their body language seemed to feel, or make you feel, that this one was over. But Antoine Walker with an emotional speech, yelling at his teammates, especially yelling at Paul Pierce prior to the beginning of the fourth, perhaps igniting this Boston Celtic team. Pierce inside, and he draws the foul on the pass. But again, New Jersey in the penalty. And free throws coming up for Paul Pierce. Jason Kidd picks up his 2nd. And Pierce to the line. This was Walker prior to the start of the fourth quarter. He yelled at his team. He yelled at Pierce. And they have responded. Pierce, meanwhile, 6 of 7 from the line today.
Mike, you made the point early as Paul Pierce continues to struggle at the line. You made the point early. Jim O'Brien said what an intelligent basketball player Antoine Walker is and how much he respects his basketball IQ. That might have been a little emotional, but he got his point across.
So Pierce, 1 of 2. 5-point game coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Kidd close to a double dribble there. Kittles for 3. Tony Delk. All 6'2" of Tony Delk, and that's stretching it with a big rebound. Walker against Martin. Lost it, got it back, flipped it up, won't go. Rebound Walker, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Kidd. They'll get a new 24 with 1:42 remaining and trailing by 5.
Good effort by Antoine Walker. He lost the handle going up on the shot and did well to hustle back for the rebound.
Both teams in the penalty. Both teams with 2 timeouts plus a 20. Pierce inside, puts it in.
Jason Kidd, the Nets' best defender, is trying to contain Paul Pierce down the stretch.
Paul Pierce has 14 fourth quarter points. It's a 3-point game. Harris inside. Offensive foul. Rodney Rogers steps in and draws the charge.
Rodney Rogers, with great help defense, gets himself set outside the restricted area. Clear-cut charge.
Pierce, and he's fouled on his way to the basket. Jason Kidd picks up his 3rd, and Pierce will shoot 2 more free throws with 1:07 remaining.
Well, these 2 players had words early. Byron Scott is always going to put Jason Kidd on the best offensive player in late game situations. That's Paul Pierce right now. So far, Paul Pierce has the advantage.
Shooting better from the line. And he kind of coaxed that one in. He didn't like it when he released it.
The Nets have got to take care of the ball, Mike. They're killing themselves on the offensive end with turnovers.
1-point game. Nets have turned it over 5 times in the fourth. The Celtics have yet to turn it over in the fourth. and Byron Scott wants timeout. It is deafening at the Fleet Center. Byron Scott has watched his Nets blow a 26-point second half lead. They led by 21 after 3, and now it's a 1-point Nets advantage.
Mike, I watched Byron that timeout. He intentionally did not talk to his team for a while. He just wanted to go in at the end of the timeout and make 1 point to them. Then it's time to step up right now.
Celtics' only lead of this game was 1-0. They hit the opening free throw. Jason Kidd. Kittles for 3. Way off the mark. Here comes Walker. Good defense from Kidd. Pierce. And a foul. And Pierce will go to the line with a chance to give the Celtics their first lead since the opening seconds. Kenyon Martin is fouled out. And there you see, this is all time in the playoffs and leading by 19 points plus entering the fourth quarter. You see a perfect number there. And Pierce hits the big free throw to tie the game.
Mike, if I'm the New Jersey Nets, if there's one shot I did not want in that possession, it's a Kerry Kittles 3-point shot.
Celtics lead. One of the most amazing comebacks in NBA history. 22nd timeout called by New Jersey. This crowd is absolutely delirious. It's not the old Boston Garden, but it certainly feels like it today.
It certainly is not. Incredible defense by the Boston Celtics, helped by a tentative New Jersey Net offense. Turnovers, Aaron Williams offense trying to keep them in. A couple of big Kenyon Martin offensive rebounds, but the Nets walking around dazed right now.
Paul Pierce with 18 of his 27 here in the fourth. Again, where would the Nets be without Aaron Williams? The Celtics have scored 38 points in this fourth quarter. Kittles drives hard and throws it away. Here comes Anderson. Blocked by Kittles, but a goaltend. Celtics go up by 3. 29.8 remaining. This entire building on its feet. And the Nets call timeout. A 40-point fourth quarter. We'll return after these messages from your local station. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC. Here at the Fleet Center, this was the free throw by Paul Pierce that give the Celtics the lead. Boy, this place has just erupted.
No one has sat down since. Paul Pierce got him going. JoJo White, the Celtic great, leading the cheers. No one has been quiet since.
Now for New Jersey, this game is far from over. They're shell-shocked right now, but they have to keep their heads in it. They certainly have a chance to still win.
It's a one-possession game. Doesn't have to be a 3 necessarily right now.
Kittles. Van Horn, blocked by Walker. Rebounded by Pierce. And they foul Pierce with 17.6 remaining. Antoine Walker with a huge block. Nets were just thinking 3, and they didn't really have to, as Pierce shaken up on the play.
Keith Van Horn. Antoine Walker reaches in. I don't know what he got a piece of right there.
That's also a very dangerous play. He fouls him there, and that's close. It's 3 free throws. Meanwhile, Boston will call timeout. Aaron Williams, who committed the foul on Pierce, has fouled out of the game. There's still 17.6 seconds remaining, and the Celtics still need to hit some free throws. Pierce will go to the line.
Paul Pierce was holding his right arm, Mike. I don't know where he got hit, but he was showing that to trainer Eddie Lacerte on the bench.
Celtics huge at the free throw line. It's always the last thing you talk about in terms of the difference between winning and losing, but so often, especially in the postseason, it makes the difference. Pierce is going to go to the line where the Celtics have hit 19 of 21 in this fourth quarter. Clutch free throw shooting from Boston.
Well, Paul Pierce stepped up after he struggled the entire game, too. Made 4 huge free throws for the Celtics at the end of the game.
Pierce in the fourth quarter, as you see, he has 18 points. He's 6 of 7 from the line in the fourth. So many problems in the first 2 games at the line, but he seems to have settled himself in. But wonder the effect that that'll have. Obviously, it's a shooting hand.
He's moving his fingers. Looks like he feels he's lost a touch. If anything, he's had to touch the entire fourth quarter.
Key right now for New Jersey is they are out of timeouts, so they can't advance the ball with a timeout. Byron Scott absolutely shocked by what he's seen. The Nets led by 26. They were coasting as they were humiliating the Celtics on their home floor. And like the turn of a switch, the turn on a light, the Celtics are erupting here in the fourth.
No timeouts left for the New Jersey Nets, so this potentially a 2-possession game, and they can't advance the ball.
Way short. This is a very big free throw right here. Aaron Williams is done. Valiant in his effort. Pierce hits the second 4-point lead. They've got to score in a hurry. Don't necessarily need a 3. Kidd puts up the 3. Won't go. Kittle's back to Kidd. A wide open 3. Off the mark. Knocked out of bounds. Still New Jersey ball with 5.4 remaining.
2-possession game. The Celtics can do anything but foul.
Kidd for 3. Blocked by Rodgers. Knocked loose. Harris has it. Kidd for 3. And the Boston Celtics with the greatest fourth quarter comeback in NBA playoff history. What an emotional scene as the Celtics take a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final. What seemed to be an insurmountable New Jersey lead turns into a devastating Nets loss.
Well, devastating is not the word. The Boston Celtics just kept coming back.
41-16 in the fourth. Let's go to Lewis Johnson.
Mike Breen, thanks a lot. Down by as many as 26, 41 points in the fourth quarter. Paul, can you just describe this transformation of this team? Come back and take the victory.
Well, we got a never die attitude, you know. Coach said, some way, somehow, we're going to win this game. And everybody believed that was the key. Nobody gave in to what the lead was. We all believed in it. And we just sucked it up in the fourth quarter and got it done.
The $64,000 question, Paul, is what happens to you today in the first 3 quarters that you couldn't do in the fourth quarter?
Well, they did a good job of trapping me every time I got the ball, every time I penetrated, and they sent 2 or 3 men after me. But in the fourth quarter, I'm a whole different player, you know. The game's on the line, and that's where I think the great players step up.
Great player, unbelievable performance. Antoine, between the third and the fourth quarter, you had some choice words for your teammate here. What did you say that helped get him fired up?
I felt he was bailing them out. I felt he wasn't aggressive enough. Paul Pierce is letting them play him instead of forcing him to do things that he liked to do. I told him, I said, I don't know if we're going to win this game, but we got to show them going to game 4 that we're a real team. And Paul came out and was aggressive, went to the basket, and we came up with defensive stop, man. I've never been a part of nothing like this in my life, man. It's unbelievable, man.
When you consider the history of this franchise, right above us there are 16 championship banners hanging. Could that have provided inspiration for you today?
This crowd stayed with us, man. We got real fans, man. They didn't go nowhere. We was down 21 points. They could have easily went home. They stayed here and supported us, and we pulled it out.
Now, how do you keep things under control emotionally, because this series is not over?
Oh, not a long shot. We're playing against a great team, and they showed us tonight. They gave us their best shot tonight. They came in here and they played well, but we responded. So now we got a chance to go up 3-1, and we got to take advantage of it.
Jim O'Brien talks so much about controlling Jason Kidd, not letting him get to the paint so much. Talk about your control of him tonight and through the rest of the series.
Well, we just did a good job of it. We felt if we wasn't playing our defense in the fourth quarter, we sat down and forced them to make jump shots from the outside. They made a few, but as the game went on, they started to miss them, and we was able to get the rebound.
This is so big. There won't be any champagne in the locker room, will there?
No, our goals are much higher right now.
All right, good job today. Mike, back to you.